Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now in today's video, we're going to be checking out a very interesting budget smartphone that starts from just RM 550 ringgit or 130 US dollars. So it's very affordable, but you're getting quite an interesting device over here. And that device that I'm talking about today is the TECNO Spark 8 Pro. Now I do have the box over here, and first up I must talk a little bit about the brand. This is not a brand that I've covered before on the channel. It is very new to me, but apparently in other countries around Southeast Asia and perhaps even more, the brand TECNO is actually quite strong over there. So very excited to try out TECNO for the first time. If you just take a look at the box here itself, I'm also very excited to see a fully orange box like this. It definitely looks much more unique compared to all the boxes that we've been seeing all this while. You do have the Spark wording over here in this bluish kind of color, which I think overall it just looks like a very young kind of feel for the TECNO Spark 8 Pro. Alright, so in today's video, before I begin, of course, if you do want to watch more content like this, don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel. Let us begin. Alright, so in terms of this TECNO Spark 8 Pro, although it is a budget phone, but it does come with quite a fair bit of accessories in the box. Let me just show it to you very quickly. We do have a 33-watt charger over here. We also get a Type-C cable, very nice. And of course, we also get a pair of headphones over here. Very interesting. And last but not least, we also get the case. Now, if you look at this case, obviously you can already imagine how the design of the phone is like. And this is what you get. My version here, I think, is in a greenish bluish kind of color, which actually looks very nice. For a phone at this price, I think it is really spectacular. And of course, you do have the phone itself wrapped up in this very nice orange kind of a plastic protector. Alright, so that's just what you get in the box for, again, 130 US dollars or 550 ringgit. This is a very interesting device. Let's check it out right now. So first and foremost, I'm just going to slide the device out of the plastics very quickly so you can see the design itself. This is how the TECNO Spark 8 Pro looks like. Honestly speaking, it does look more expensive than the price itself. The build quality is quite good over here. If you notice on the back panel, we do have a very large cutout that makes it look quite unique compared to all the smartphones that you've been seeing today. It is quite a reflective back panel up top, and you do have that triple camera setup on the top left corner. Now, if you just move down right here, you notice that we do have this kind of stripes going on. It is a matte-ish kind of materials over here, so you will not have any fingerprints at the back. And if you just turn it from side to side, you might also notice there is a little bit of some writings at the back that says "Stop at Nothing." It reminds me of the Realme devices where they put their "Dare to Leap," so this says "Stop at Nothing." Alright, so you should not stop at this video, of course. If you just flip the device to the sides here, notice that we have this sort of aluminum frames. I'm not sure if it's aluminum or plastics, but it does feel quite sturdy. And on the right panel, we notice that we have our volume rocker together with the lock button that also acts as a fingerprint scanner. So that's what you get in terms of the design and overall build quality. I like it. I like the TECNO Spark 8 Pro over here. Definitely, like I said, feels quite nice, and it's actually quite a large device as well. So that brings me to my next point, and let's talk a little bit about the display at the front. Now, flipping the device to the front, you can see that we do have an LCD panel over here. This is a 1080p LCD panel. The size is 6.77 inches to be exact, but TECNO is calling it 6.8 inches, so let's use it at that. There is no special high refresh rate or high touch sampling rate. It's just a very basic 1080p LCD display, 6.8 inches. So the good news here is that it is fairly large, so you can see quite a fair bit of content on the display itself. If you like to browse your internet, you like to browse social media, seeing pictures, watching videos, I think they would work fine on this display. Although I do have to point out that the display is not the brightest that I've seen. It's not very bright, especially outdoors. Even indoors, I have to use about like 80% brightness to actually see the display clearer. So that's just something that I wanted to point out. But overall, I think it's still a very good display at the price that it's being offered at. Now, done with the display, let's talk a little bit about the processing power, because that's also quite important and you would want to know that. In terms of the power, we do have the Helio G85. Now, this is a budget range kind of a processor, so obviously everything is going to be a little bit slower than usual if you are coming in from a mid-range or a more premium device. But the Helio G85 here actually works quite well for budget devices. What I mean by that is launching apps like Facebook, Chrome, Instagram, and YouTube. It takes a little while, but eventually it gets there, and it's not to say like super laggy and all that. You just have to get used to the slightly slower pace of the Helio G85. Now the good news here is that the reason why Helio called this the G series processor is because it is slightly better in terms of gaming. So if you're comparing this device to even more affordable or even more cheaper devices, the TECNO Spark 8 Pro here actually is able to handle games at medium graphic settings quite smoothly. So I was able to get a pretty good, decent gaming experience on the TECNO Spark 8 Pro. So that's a plus point. Now in terms of the RAM as well as storage, it starts from 4 GB of RAM, and in terms of storage you have 64 GB all the way up to 128 GB. So that's what you can get in terms of the RAM plus storage. Alright, so again, it's very basic stuff here. This is a budget device, so you can't really expect too much, but again, for the price, I think the Helio G85 is quite sufficient. Alright, now let's move on to the next point and talk very quickly about the sensors at the top. Now this one is actually quite interesting, and by interesting I mean quite weird, I would say. The reason for that is because we do have a triple camera setup, but only the main sensor right here, the specs are known. So I checked out the website and all that. It says that it comes with a 48 megapixel main sensor. We have a depth sensor over here. I think it's 2 megapixels. I can't really confirm that. And last but not least, there's another sensor at the bottom. Now I'm going to show you guys a couple of photos over here so you can basically tell what kind of photo quality you can get from the TECNO Spark 8 Pro. Overall, again, this is a budget device, so the pictures coming out are just good enough for sharing with your friends. If you want to share it to social media, put it on stories or something like that, I think it's also fine. You won't really have a huge issue over there. So yeah, it just works. It's just a very standard basic camera on the TECNO Spark 8 Pro. Now moving on, let's talk a little bit about the battery, because I think for a budget device, especially at this fairly large size, some people might actually want to buy it to use it as their spare phone because of that battery. Now in terms of the battery, we do have a 5000 mAh battery in here. Again, fairly standard these days, but it does support the 33-watt fast charge, which obviously we do have the charger in the box. According to TECNO, it will go from 0 to 100% in under an hour or so. And again, not the fastest. Alright, so that is pretty much it. Last but not least, in terms of the speakers and audio jack, we do have the headphone jack at the bottom. Yes, it charges up via Type-C, and we do have a single firing speaker at the bottom. Doesn't get too loud, but it just works very normal. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked the very basic, quick video over here for the TECNO Spark 8 Pro. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to drop a like, sub to the channel, and I hope to see all of you guys in the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Bye!